Right on. Hammer time.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the KISS Europe race out on the London Classic course today. And the riders are just getting lined up in the A and the B categories. We will be covering today. We will be covering the C category as they come across the line. They're looking at 7 laps out on the Classic course, out on the London course. There's about 18 seconds or so to go. 51 racers signed up in the A race. In the B category race, I'm seeing 81 racers actually, with about 3 minutes to go to the start of that race. Riders are getting instructions right now over at the start banner as they are just about to take off. This race today is a part of the Zwift Academy. Of you who are unaware what this Zwift Academy is all about creating the largest training community in the world online, and it is a global training community open to all riders of all abilities, actually over a 6-week period. And these races right now that we are watching actually are a part of completing that academy. There's a lot of races actually open in the academy for that, so you can go ahead and if you want to jump into the training community with that for the men and the women, you can head over to academy.zwift.com. And if you actually can still register before the 15th and jump in there, and you're going to maybe one of these races. There's a lot of races actually being added though in order to complete the program. It's actually going to be, according to Academy, .com, 5 group rides, some Zwift workouts, as well as 2 races that you have to complete in. So a lot of Then in the D category as well, we'll start 2 or 3 minutes behind them. We do have an attack here early on, actually. We've got curling here with Peckover, it looks like, and then McGonagall, also all out of the UK. Hedgehog is there as well with a Groot there. I am Groot hammering away off the front here out of Australia, actually. So a little bit of attack didn't go anywhere. It's going to be difficult to get away on the flat course today, as lots of tactics definitely take place with group rides and races, especially in the races though when you have a flatter course, because of the drafting that is extremely similar to the outside dynamics when you're drafting on other riders. The B category is just getting underway. We're going to make sure to jump in with them. It looks like a lot of ZA riders jumped into that race as well. Well, these guys
hammer time. Ride on. Ride on. Nice. I'm toast.
those gaps to open up, and this is the only part a lot of times out on course for the classic course and for these flatter courses that you have a situation where they are able to get away right from the get-go. And that's part of the reason I think that these starts are so insanely fast, is that they do have the ability to cause some breaks right from the start. Once they get up to speed, at that point, if you are with the group, it does become much more difficult to get away. So this is a KISS race. So this is the KISS Europe race. For those of you, there are lots of races that go on throughout the day and group rides. We'll do a quick little chat here about what the rules for this race are. You can see on the right-hand side of the course, a lot of the riders have KISS in their name so that they are registered, quote-unquote, for the race, or that ZwiftPower.com will pick up the rider over there for the results. The power-ups are available at all times. You can see a few riders using power-ups actually out on course. If you do see a little feather over anybody's head, or you see an arrow power up over their heads, we do see a few riders actually over in the A category actually throwing down some power-ups as they head into the Trafalgar Square there, and then head on over toward the 1K to go banner. You are seeing our curling here using a drafting power-up, probably because he was in a little bit of trouble for a moment there, at least trying not to expend too much energy at 160 beats per minute right now, 363 watts. Using that drafting power up does give him an advantage in order to hang on to the wheel that's in front of him. Waters than he would usually have to do. It does look like he is using that to try and work his way through the group here and make his way back up toward the front end of this. The 3.1 D category, 0 to 2.4 essentially. So all kinds of effort levels, all kinds of abilities out on Zwift for the racing. If you want to jump on into a race, you can do so very easily. Figuring out what your functional threshold power is. So what can you hold for 1 hour straight is what each one of those numbers we're representing. With the power number you're seeing in the upper left hand corner here, 300 watts. Currently, A. Hinton's putting out 300, 315, 3... And while he's doing that, you can see on the right hand side here 3.8, 3.6, 4.2. As his wattage changed, that number on the right hand side of my screen is changing as well. That is his FTP, his functional threshold power ratio. Excuse me, not his functional threshold power ratio, but his watts per kilogram ratio right now that is changing. His functional threshold power would be what ratio. He could hold for 1 hour straight, and it's assumed that Hinton can hold 4.0 or higher for 1 hour straight, being in the A category. Right now. So as we look through here, we do see it is about a solid 25 to 30 riders.
Right on.
I'm gonna go ahead and check zwiftpower.com here real quickly and see how many are actually in and amongst this group, as it does update. It does look like the initial break has been about 39 riders, actually 39 riders that did make it into the initial break. That was the last time was at the mall 300-meter board reverse, so we'll have to wait for the next it's somebody that's either grabbed it, but it is somebody, if they do have that innovation in their name on the right hand side there, you do know that they are represented. At Team Vision Cycling there with Fleetwood, they're represented, as we are seeing Orgel go right on by. Orgel's actually, I believe he sent me a message if this is the correct individual. I'm just going to double check this really quickly here, but yeah, Orgel, Chris Orgel. Was a very high level competitive speed skater, actually outdoor inline speed skater. Races for maybe a few days now. Maybe we just haven't been covering the ones that he's a part of. 208 races out on Zwift. He did do way back it looks like it was back on the 1st of September, actually. Took a 6th place, unlike Mr. Tim, not to take a podium. So must have been some heavy hitters. 4.83 watts per kilogram in and amongst that race. Maybe it came down to a sprint finish, because usually he just walks from the group, and it was on the Volcano Crit course, actually, which tends to be a little bit more of a flatter course, but did take a win in the EVR Europe race back on August 25th, so it has been a couple days. I wonder if he did participate in the Elite TT championships for the not the was it the elite? Dan Allenby was or David Allenby was posting some picks and a few results from the UK. If anybody's got any information about whether or not Tim participated in that same race over there, I would love to all about it and whether or not that went well for him, because I know that those guys are TT specialists. And so I do have social media integration here. If you guys want to go ahead and interact at all, I do see Kim Little interacting over at Switch Facebook here right now, and he's going ahead and cheering on Mr. Hoppy Marita as well as Quentin for the easy win. So that is a team experimental as well as Vision Cycling, who he looks to be cheering for. Tor Arn Marnussen is saying go Norway over there. So a couple cheering on their favorite racers as well as countries, it looks like. So if you would like to interact, you can do so by chatting with us over at Zwift's Facebook, or you can tweet at Z Community Live, at Z Community Live, and we can bring you right on into the broadcast. We are also watching the chat over at Mixer and Twitch right now. If you are over at either of those places, we will be able to interact with you. I believe we do have a few mods over there as well, able to answer any questions that you might have about what is happening with this program now. So Multi-Man right along with Jay Scott, though, a little bit of attack early on here, and with Cartwright in and amongst the group, he's just going to get a free ride, maybe being one of the stronger racers, allowing Multi-Man maybe to get a little bit of wiggle room here. I'm not sure it's going to happen. Burton here from the TFC, always a super strong rider with the pink socks and the yellow kit, and the orange Zwift head, pulling them right back into the fold. Johnny Nonlet's saying, I heard Kim caused a bit of an upset in the WBR race this morning. What's going on with that, Johnny? Maybe we just need to bring Johnny into the broadcast through our Discord and see what he has to say about that. But we are seeing it look like D. Costello right along with Jay Stairs, and it will be M. Warner, A. Berg. And these guys are all a part of the Zwift Academy, actually, looks like they're getting their race in. Hoffman there also out of Germany. Looks like Shields there riding for Nunn. And I have a feeling, is Nunn actually a team in Zwift now, or is Nunn the signification that I don't have a team and I'm looking for a team? Shields, I absolutely love team. That's really great. Hey Toledo, when are we going to do Spider-Man racing? We'd love to have some Spider-Man racing coming from Mr. Toledo Torpedo. Toledo actually broadcasts over on Mixer as well as Twitch, I believe. Lots of streamers actually in Zwift world out there. If you haven't been checking that out, make sure to check out Toledo Torpedo or any of the other guys chatting in. And this is, check out Toledo Torpedo streaming Zwift at mixer.com/Toledo Torpedo. No problem, Toledo Torpedo. There you go, buddy. And I believe that the Torpedo, he is a triathlete, I think, mainly in his focus as far as cycling goes. I believe that picture is actually of him crossing a finish line in a triathlon. And so for for any kind. He also does some racing on Zwift, but it's mainly some training, I believe. He's got some great Spider-Man themes around. Around his stream, actually. Car right now up at the front, though, 5.8 watts per kilogram. Starting to make things a little bit interesting. Metcalf there following up pretty quickly there. Curly. Right alongside him with 4.5 watts per kilogram. Grulf now as well, 5.2 coming out of Denmark on that pink bike, pink Tron bike. Melty Man there. It does look like a little bit of a break is being caused. Hopping Maria, 5.5 watts per kilogram, 156 though. Nobody in too much bother. Quentin LaFay though. Of Ireland. Then Griffin there up toward the front with Luis, and then it will be Meteren out of the Netherlands from also a Zwift Academy rider. It looks like you're getting one of his Zwift races done. Bentley there, 3.8 watts per kilogram. And then it is going to be the PTZ rider. It will be Lon Currick. They're trying to chase that down in that Z kit now. Bentley now leading this out up and over the top of the climb out of the hall here into the square. And it will be a little. About 1 second there. Jay Holmes, 3.2 watts per kilogram. Griffin then, and then Lawrence. We are seeing a B signification though amongst some of the riders, so there might be something going on with some of the categories here. There are only about 17 seconds back actually from those A racers that did come through. It looks like just. Go. Speaking of the A race though, things are definitely heating up just ahead of these boys. It is about 2 second gap to Van Geit, who's just trying to hang on. 130. Seven 135 beats per minute though, and is it looks like 92 watts there. Interesting. I'm not sure what's happening. I think it's absolute blow up there. Group really sat on his wheel, and so it was almost like a lead out into that attack from Pearson to get back out of the Melty Man's wheel. They've got 3 seconds. That is a gap to work with actually, and if Metcalf does not make the chase right now and those boys are able to pull 5 to 6 watts per kilogram in conjunction with the each other on the front, because that's what they're gonna have to do. They're gonna be one sit in, they're gonna have to start working together, and one of them's gonna have to take the headwind to the take the link. They were private messaging each other, talking about what they were going to do, because they sent the Melty Man off the front. He established a gap. It was large enough. Cartwright could attack from the group, not pull anybody with him, went into those orange numbers, making sure that nobody was able to hold his wheel, and now a group has been established with a break. Now Olsen off the back, 2 seconds, and now they're finding some lap traffic, and that makes it even worse because it's going to be difficult to settle down, most likely after those matches had been burned by the KISS racing team. But Dempster here from the BRT, 179 beats per minute, definitely had to burn a match to get back on terms with that group. Pelosi though is off the back now in the A category, and now we do see Burton here kicking it as well, trying to get back on terms. Off the back by about 2 seconds. It's not said and done. Just yet. Keto's just in front of him in the C category. He can't actually see that rider and riders nearby, but Keto's getting some advantage actually here by going So this is the front page for ZwiftPower.com as we wait for a few more of the attacks to happen in the A and the B category. Here's all of the races and rides that are currently being tracked. It's not just races, it's also rides and workouts that are tracked out there. You go ahead and find race going on. Here's the KISS Europe race, and I'm going to go ahead and click on that. 7 laps on the classic course, 43.1 kilometers, and this is the final results page once it's finished, but there's a live results page you can actually click on the upper right hand corner here. Once you click on that, you go ahead and you can also get a live video if we are covering it. Zwift Community Live is covering it. The live video will pop up here. If you go ahead and click that down, you can actually see live video coming in from Twitch over there. But then you can see the A category up on top here with all of the time gaps as well as what kind of wattage that they put out. 4.8 watts per kilogram, 5.0 for Metcalf so far, 4.5 coming from the Multi-Man lots, all the power-ups that they've currently used, what team that they're riding for, or if they're looking for a team. I'm going to go ahead and look through here. Actually, for the B category, it will be Grunwell, Lamoa, and Lemon, as well as Evans. So we're going to look for that group out on course in my other feed to see if we can find out where those boys are at. And it does look like it is a large group, actually, in and amongst them, with no time gaps being in there just yet. But this is ZwiftPower.com for all of your live race coverage. Make sure to head on over there, as well as the results after the race in the KISS races. So it does look like now we do have no real serious attacks up and over the top of the climb here. 13.1 miles in total right now. I thought I switched my I swear I switched it over. Used to be able to push U for units, but you can't do that any longer. Bring back the U for changing over the units in game. I don't want to risk pushing menu right now. As actually I can. I'd have to go back to me and I'd be stuck in the pen. So not going to happen. But we are going to be looking for the front end of that B category. It is going to be Grunwell, Lamoa, as well as Lemon and Evans and Campbell that are leading that out. We'll see if we can find them out on course anytime soon. I believe I have actually found them. I am seeing Mitchell, Hannon, Shirkas, as well as it looks like Jay Want out there in that B category. Actually, they're being chased down right now by the A category riders here. Up ahead of this group, actually, it will be Trout. And then Jode. So that was a chase group here right along with Danielson then. And then it will be Lamoa here in Whitaker. This is it. Verhoeven there also out there riding for CTWT. And Jones riding for the PTZ team. Lost there coming from the the KRT. The street is there as well from the KRT. So I believe we have found the front end of the B category right along with Worthington, Stevenson there, and it looks like Robson. They're all going to be heading into the hall for the climb. That's the only place out on course that you can actually try and get away most usually in and amongst these racers. Huge group in and amongst this B category, though. It's got to be, I mean, I just clicked through for quite some time there. It's got to be at least 30, maybe even 50 riders here in and amongst this B category. So you're going to have to see some efforts here to try and get away, as it's been. And Grupo Compacto, everybody's been kind of holding hands out on course here so far. We'll see if anybody's got any power-ups or anything to try and get away from this group, or if it's going to stay this way for quite some time. Let's go ahead and see if anybody's ramping it up before they head into the climb here momentarily, as we are seeing Campbell up toward the front here, 3.6 watts per kilo. And looks like everybody's just trying to kind of find, there's a lot of shifting going on in the pack right now, so it seems like everybody's not wanting to be too far back, but at the same time not trying to take that up front headwind and work too hard for the group. So a lot of shifting going on. So it's definitely Grupo Compacto here. 3.7 watts per kilogram, 162 beats per minute. We are seeing 5 watts per kilogram though come from M. Wood here right now, as he is starting to make a little bit of attack into the climb now. We are seeing now Whitlocks with a little bit of attack as well. 4.0. Thomas now at the front with Cat, and we are seeing a little bit of gap though coming from M. de Jode there from TKBE from the coming out of Belgium, 12.6 miles in, so definitely in the lead right now with 4 seconds, not waiting up, no tactics at this point coming from this rider besides attacking off the front. So no more holding hands. 4.5 watts per kilogram is all the race WBR rider is going to have, but we are seeing Wisselsberger coming from the PTZ team with that feather power up out of Germany now, kicking in and trying to chase down, it looks like Verhoeven as well as de Jode. This may be the next moment for the break amongst this B category. With such a large group, it's going to be difficult to get away. We are seeing Vigo as well as Dahl and then Wood, Roy, all in 4 watts per kilogram range though. Let's see if these boys have any continuance up on the top and can cause this gap to actually go out. It is a 3-second gap now. This is a threat now, as the TKBE riders kicking into 185 beats per minute though. Absolutely huge effort there. 185, 183. Where does he max out at? That's going to be my question for the Belgian rider here. Let's see if we can actually find any past results for M. de Jode. It's such a huge group actually. I'm seeing that's like 35, 40 plus actually. Got to scroll through for quite some time. 18 races out on Zwift actually for this rider riding for TKB. 280 watt FTP is their estimation there. Does look like he did race back on the 31st, got a 9th actually in the KISS Europe race back on August 31st actually in the B category. Recently got some upgrades though, it looks like. Is that right? Is that or no, uncategorized maybe? And actually it's been quite some time since he's been out on Zwift racing. Interesting. He's actually got better results with 3.88 watts per kilogram in category. His absolute best for his 95% actually in that KISS Europe race with that 9th place. So it looks like the summer has treated Mitch de Jode well actually over in Belgium with some better fitness here coming into the Zwift season now. PTZ and KRT riders that were up toward the front of this race. So solid effort there and good break now. Now we are seeing the A category though. We're starting to see some fireworks over there as we do see Burton right along with Dempster now kicking it through Whitehall now into the square, and it is going to be Cartwright at the front right along with the Melty Man. KRT again throwing down the fireworks, lots of power. Dempster trying to go right along with him. We are seeing Merida now as well getting in amongst the Hopping Merida, who rides for the Merida factory team in real life actually, and is the UK, the United Kingdom Merida factory team killing it at the front of this race as well, trying not to get dropped off. All back together. It looks like it was chased down except for Groot 2 seconds back now, and you do see there's some serious power being thrown down. About 1 second off, it looks like, from Stan's wheel. Fleetwood just barely able to hold on to Stan's wheel. If they don't close it down now, it will go out. And you know that the effort is extremely hard when they get into that straight line because everyone is just trying to hold on to the wheel that's right in front of them at that moment. Nice ride on. Go, go. Xavier Tamburini is saying good to see you over there. And we are seeing at Z Community Live, go, 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 Jasmine Mueller for her record. Hey, so this is a community thing going on right now as we wait for a couple more of the attacks to come on through. Jasmine Mueller is actually going for a record right now. We've interviewed her here on Zwift Community Live. She actually set a record in Zwift last year, I believe, or was earlier this year. It was either last year or earlier this year for the longest distance actually completed in the shortest amount of time out on Zwift actually. But go Jasmine Mueller for her record, lay jog or an 1,000-mile attempt actually happening right now, I believe. So really cool to see it. Thanks a lot. And let's go ahead and get head on over to Twitter and tweet at Jasmine Mueller as a community member who uses Zwift as a huge part of her training for her endurance training. Absolutely awesome to see her going for that record. Let's go ahead and cheer her on over at Twitter. Probably be the best way to do so. Kyle Augustine's coming in. Smash It Hinton, the director sportif over at Innovations, hanging out there, and good to see you, Kyle Augustine, hanging out and cheering on his teammates. Hinton is in and amongst this lead group right now. We'll see if he can grab the W. At least he was. I'm not sure if he dropped off recently. No, he is still in amongst this group right now. As we click through, we almost actually lost the front end of the group there momentarily. But I believe Hinton right amongst a solid group still. Not too many have dropped off just as of yet. So we'll have to wait for the next round maybe. Cartwright, though, is at the front here with Metcalf, still not slowing down, 167 beats per minute right now. And we are seeing Pearson right along with Metcalf in there, 172, 171. Stountner has made this front group. Hinton does look like Hazelstead, a Zwift Academy rider right now, 3.7 watts per kilogram. You are seeing all those ZA icons there, a lot of these riders. And if you are doing the race and you are already completing the KISS race, and I'm not seeing, I mean, I am seeing a lot of ZA icons in there, but I'm not seeing everybody with one, or not everybody, but I mean, you know, it's about 25% of this lead group. If you're doing the KISS race anyways, and you're gonna get these races in for the completion of the Zwift Academy, you get a cool in-game kit, you get to be a part of the one of the largest online training communities in the world, as well as being a leader amongst you know, amongst the community for encouraging on, I think, other U23 riders to go after that